All right, so get ready, because today we're diving deep into a place that's pretty fascinating, and maybe a little bit spooky, too.
Oh, is that right?
It is. We're talking about Skywalker Ranch
Skywalker Ranch.
in Utah. You know, the one with the reputation for all those strange happenings. We're talking UFOs, poltergeists.
I've heard about this place, yeah.
Even rumors about dimensional portals. Can you believe that?
Dimensional portals?
Yeah. And we've got this article here. It's titled El Lugar Más Paranormal.txt.
Okay.
And it is packed with accounts of just bizarre experiences. So today we're going to try and figure out, what makes this place so strange.
Well, it's interesting because, we're not just dealing with, campfire stories here.
Right.
We have decades worth of reports, some from regular folks, some from scientific investigations.
Exactly. And it all kind of kicks off back in 1994 with these two brothers, Terry and Wayne German.
Okay.
They buy this ranch, hoping to, start a cattle business.
Right.
But their plans are pretty quickly disrupted by, well, a whole bunch of unsettling events. Like, their very first encounter involved a wolf.
A wolf.
This wolf survives multiple gunshots.
What?
And then just walks away calmly with its prey like it was nothing.
No way.
Can you imagine seeing that?
That's wild.
Yeah.
That kind of sets the stage for everything that happens after, right? It's like, all right, the normal rules, they don't apply at Skywalker Ranch.
Absolutely. And things escalate pretty quickly from there. We're talking crops spontaneously combusting.
Wow.
But not just randomly, in these bizarre patterns.
Oh, that's strange.
Kitchen utensils rearranging themselves.
Whoa, way.
Cows, entering these weird trances.
Seriously.
It sounds like a horror movie, but these were real people
Right.
experiencing this stuff every day.
So, it really makes you wonder, how much can someone handle before the unexplained starts to, really wear them down?
That's a good question.
The German brothers, they even started having similar nightmares.
Wow.
Yeah, blurring the lines between what's real and what's not.
That is creepy.
Yeah.
So it's not really surprising that they end up abandoning the ranch.
Yeah, 2 years, right?
Just 2 years, yeah. I don't blame them. I couldn't imagine.
Yeah.
But that's when things get even more interesting.
Okay.
So this millionaire named Robert Bigelow, he buys the ranch
Okay.
from the brothers.
All right.
Now, Bigelow had a lifelong fascination with the paranormal.
Okay, so he wasn't messing around.
Oh, not at all.
Yeah.
He actually founded the National Institute for Discovery Science, NIDS,
Right.
and brought this whole scientific approach to investigating Skywalker Ranch.
So, serious investigation.
Round-the-clock surveillance determined to get hard evidence of these phenomena.
Wow.
But even with all that technology, things got complicated. Equipment would malfunction.
Oh, right.
Often at the same time as these paranormal events.
That's weird.
It is weird. This led Bigelow to believe that there was some kind of unusual energy at work at the ranch.
Interesting. So are there any ideas about, what might be causing all of this?
Well, the article presents a few different theories. Some people think the government was testing, secret aircraft in the area.
Okay, yeah, I've heard that one.
Others connect it to, Navajo curses and legends about these creatures called skinwalkers.
Skinwalkers. Now, that's something I've always been fascinated by. Can you tell me a little more about those?
So in Navajo folklore, a skinwalker is basically like a malevolent witch.
Oh, wow.
Who can shapeshift into different animals.
Oh, that's creepy.
They're associated with dark magic and are said to be incredibly powerful and dangerous.
Okay, so you've got these creatures potentially roaming around a place where, physics is going haywire.
It's no wonder Skywalker Ranch has a reputation for being, creepy.
Totally. So, Bigelow, did he bring in anyone to help with, the investigation, given how serious he was about it?
He did. He brought in some heavy hitters. George Knapp, a well-known UFO investigator,
Right.
and Colm Kelleher, a paranormal researcher, they joined the team.
Wow.
Knapp even claimed to have seen one of these humanoid creatures during his time at the ranch.
Oh, wow.
They ended up writing a book together about their experiences. It's called Hunt for the Skinwalker. The subtitle is Science Confronts the Unexplained at a Remote Ranch in Utah.
I might have to check that out.
So did Bigelow, after all that, get any of the answers he was looking for?
That's a good question. Even with all the resources and all that expertise, hard evidence was pretty elusive.
Really?
The government even got involved, took an interest in Bigelow's findings.
Yeah.
But eventually he withdrew from the project, Just couldn't find the definitive proof.
Wow. So he really spent all that time and money just trying to crack the code of Skywalker Ranch.
He did.
That's amazing. It just shows how much of a mystery this place is.
It does.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean the story ends there. In 2016, another wealthy businessman, Brandon Fugal, purchased the ranch. And, he decided he was going to take on the challenge of uncovering its secrets. And his experiences there, oh boy, they're really something.
Okay, well, that's where we'll pick up next time. But first, I need a moment to just process all of this. Skywalker Ranch is a place that, really captures the imagination.
It really does. And trust me, we're just getting started. There's a lot more to uncover as we continue this deep dive.
All right.
Yeah.
So we left off with Brandon Fugal, buying Skywalker Ranch. And he went into it pretty skeptical, but then he had this UFO encounter.
Yeah, that's right. He actually described seeing this disc-shaped object.
No way!
Yeah, hovering over the mesa. And it was a perfectly clear day.
Wow.
And that experience, it totally changed his perspective.
Yeah.
He was convinced after that
Oh, yeah.
that something really extraordinary was happening at the ranch.
Wow. A firsthand UFO sighting. It's pretty hard to stay skeptical after something like that.
Yeah, it definitely seems to have solidified his belief. And after that, Fugal really ramped up the investigations, invested in all sorts of advanced equipment, assembled a whole team of scientists and researchers to try and get to the bottom of things.
So it wasn't just like personal curiosity anymore. This was like full-blown, serious scientific investigation.
Exactly. He was determined to get some real answers. And this eventually led to the production of a documentary, this was in 2018, called Hunt for the Skinwalker. Brought a lot of attention back to Skywalker Ranch.
Oh, yeah. I remember seeing something about that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there was the History Channel series, The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch.
Oh, yeah.
Which, really took things to a whole new level.
Right. The series gave viewers a unique look behind the scenes at the ranch.
Mm-hmm.
Like the investigations that were taking place there.
Right.
They had interviews with researchers, footage from the cameras they had set up all over the place.
Yeah.
They even had recreations of some of the more intense encounters that people had reported.
It's amazing how this place went from being, shrouded in secrecy to this, pop culture phenomenon.
It really speaks to our curiosity about the unknown, doesn't it? We're drawn to these stories that, challenge our understanding of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Makes us wonder what else might be out there.
Absolutely. So with all this new attention, all these investigations, did Fugal's team uncover anything? Any of the secrets of Skywalker Ranch?
Well, that's where things get even more interesting. One of the lead researchers on the team, a guy named Eric Bard, he's put forward a pretty fascinating theory.
Okay.
He believes that the ranch might be sitting on top of some kind of energy source or portal that's causing all these strange phenomena.
Hold on. A portal? Are we talking about other dimensions here?
That's exactly what Bard's theory suggests.
Wow.
It's mind-boggling, right? But his research indicates that there might be something to it.
Okay.
He even hints at the possibility of a non-human intelligence.
Oh, really?
Potentially even one that's, precognitive, being involved somehow.
Okay, so we've got these mysterious creatures, UFO sightings, potential government experiments, ancient Navajo curses, and now the possibility of interdimensional portals. This is a lot to take in.
It is. And that's part of what makes Skywalker Ranch so captivating, It's this place where science fiction and reality blend together in this really unsettling way.
With all this talk about theories and investigations, there's one thing I keep coming back to, the German brothers.
Right, yeah.
What happened to them after they left the ranch?
That's a good question. And unfortunately, there's not a clear answer. After they sold the ranch, they basically disappeared from public view.
Really?
Yeah, and they've refused to talk about their experiences there.
It's almost as if they just want to forget the whole thing ever happened. Maybe it was all just too much.
That's possible.
Yeah.
But there's also the possibility that they know more than they're letting on.
Yeah.
Imagine what they could tell us.
Oh, I know. If they were willing to share what they went through, it really makes you wonder what they saw, what they experienced. That made them go silent. Maybe someday they'll come forward with their story, but for now, it remains another piece of the Skywalker Ranch puzzle.
It does. And with that in mind, we've covered a lot in this deep dive.
Yeah, we have.
It might be a good time to take stock of what we've learned and think about the bigger questions raised by all these events at Skywalker Ranch.
I agree. What are some of the key takeaways you think our listener should consider?
Well, I think first and foremost, there's the sheer volume of reports,
Yeah.
about unusual activity at the ranch. From everyday people to seasoned investigators, it seems like everyone who spends any amount of time there experiences something unexplained. And, I mean, you can't easily dismiss that.
You're right. It goes way beyond just a few isolated incidents. It's a pattern of strange occurrences spanning decades. What else?
Well, I think it's important to remember that while there are many theories about what's happening at Skywalker Ranch, everything from government conspiracies to interdimensional phenomena, none of them have been definitively proven. But that doesn't mean they should be discounted entirely. Like, the lack of proof isn't necessarily proof of absence.
That's a good point. It's easy to jump to conclusions, but sometimes the most important thing is to stay open to the possibilities, even if they seem far-fetched.
Exactly. And I think the final takeaway here is that Skywalker Ranch, it's a stark reminder that there are still mysteries in this world that we don't fully understand. And that's both exciting and a little bit unsettling.
I couldn't agree more. It's enough to make you question everything you thought you knew about reality.
Yeah.
So what does this all mean for our listener? What do you think they should take away from all of this?
Well, if they ever find themselves in Utah and feeling adventurous, maybe they should take a drive past Skywalker Ranch. But be warned, they might just experience something that changes their perspective forever.
Haha, that's a great way to put it. It's definitely not a place for the faint of heart.
And if they ever encounter something in their own lives, something that defies explanation, I hope they'll remember the stories of Skywalker Ranch. Don't be afraid to ask questions, to investigate, and to keep an open mind. After all, the truth, whatever it may be, is out there.
Well said. And on that note, we'll leave you with one final thought to ponder. If you were to visit Skywalker Ranch, what precautions would you take, or would you even dare? Until next time, keep exploring the mysteries of the world around you. You never know what you might discover. All right, so let's take a step back for a second, really trying to. Our heads around all of this.
Yeah.
We've got Skywalker Ranch, this place where the impossible seems to, happen all the time. UFOs, poltergeist activity. We've even heard about those encounters with creatures that sound like straight out of a myth.
Right, and we've, explored all these different theories, government testing, ancient curses, even those portals to other dimensions.
Yeah.
But the big question, is still there. What is really going on at Skywalker Ranch?
Yeah, is it a hoax? Are people just letting their imaginations run wild? Or is there something, truly extraordinary happening?
Well, it's fascinating because even the most skeptical investigators, like Brandon Fugal, he went in with a lot of doubts.
Right.
But even he came to believe that something unexplainable is definitely going on. And, while the scientific data might not give us those, concrete answers,
Right.
it does kind of suggest that there might be forces at play that we just don't fully understand yet.
It's almost like the ranch itself is this, living entity.
Oh, interesting.
Where the line between our world and something else is, super thin.
Yeah, that's a really interesting way to think about it. What if our reality is more complex and interconnected than we realize?
Yeah.
What if there are, dimensions and entities that we're just starting to perceive?
It's mind-blowing. But, that's what I love about these deep dives.
Yeah.
They really push us to think outside the box.
Right.
Consider possibilities we might not have even thought about before.
Absolutely.
It's a good reminder that there's still so much we don't know about.
So much.
Well, this has been quite a journey.
It really has.
We've delved into some seriously strange territory today. I think we've probably raised more questions than we've answered.
That's often the case with these sorts of mysteries, isn't it? But it's the pursuit of the answers that makes it so interesting.
It really is. So to wrap things up, what would you say is the biggest takeaway from all this? What do you hope our listeners remember about Skywalker Ranch?
Well, I think the most important thing is to just acknowledge that there are things in this world that we simply can't explain, and that's okay.
Yeah.
In fact, it's what makes life so interesting.
I couldn't agree more. Skywalker Ranch reminds us to embrace the unknown, to never stop questioning, and who knows, maybe someday we'll finally have the answers we're looking for.
Yeah, maybe. But until then, the mystery continues.
Well, that's it for our deep dive into the enigmatic world of Skywalker Ranch, a place that sparks the imagination, challenges our perceptions of reality.
It really is a place that beckons us to explore the boundaries of what we think we know.
We hope you enjoyed this journey with us. And remember, keep an open mind, stay curious, and never stop exploring the mysteries that surround us.